Hey everyone, Rob from Southgate Media Group here. Before we get started with this podcast, we have a quick message. If this is your first time checking out the show, we love that you found us and we really hope you enjoy it. What we have to say is for the subscribers. If you enjoy our shows, would you please donate to help keep these going? We don't want to have to put traditional ads on these shows, but this does cost money. So we really do rely heavily on donations. To make a donation to the show, please go to our website, www.southgatemediagroup.com. Go to the page for the show, and in the upper right-hand corner is a donate button. It takes you right to PayPal, and you can donate whatever amount you want. Thanks a lot for listening, everybody. And now, on with the show.
Prime Tech employees, welcome back to the Prime Tech Files, a Southgate Media Group podcast dedicated to all things NBC Heroes related, as well as its sequel show, Heroes Reborn. I am Lilith, and joining me on the hunt for specials / evos is
Ricky.
We're almost to the point where Hero starts to get good again. Just gotta push through this. So, up for discussion today is episode 312, Our Father, who we have many issues with.
Who are still blaming the writer's strike for, even though it was a year ago.
So that kind of happens when you try to plot too much instead of trying to see where the actual story and actors' chemistry takes you.
Yep. We're looking at you.
So there's high concept drama, and then there's just being a writer and letting things develop organically and instead of trying to shove it down your reader, or in this case viewer's throat.
Oh, definitely.
So yeah, lots to talk about, so let's just get right into the recap. This episode was written by Addis Armis and Kay Foster. It was directed by Gino Swark. Wow, he got a lot of play this season. What's the synopsis?
To stop Arthur once and for all, Hiro and Claire travel back 16 years in time to when Hiro's father, Kato, handed baby Claire to Noah, while Peter teams up with the Haitian to finally stop Arthur, only to be intercepted by Sylar. Mohinder finally has a major breakthrough in the formula after Arthur obtains the catalyst from Hiro.
Major plot points and players that we didn't mention. Nathan takes command of Arthur's operation. Tracy helps Nathan assemble a quote-unquote small army of Marines. Meanwhile, Matt, Daphne, and Ando try to find Isaac Mendez's last issue of Ninth Wonders. And Sylar finally seeks the truth about his parentage.
Yes, finally.
He's like, I'm too smart to be a Charlie's son. Let's see, important places, people, and things. We've got Ishii Nakamura, which is Hiro's mother. We've got the Catalyst, Scott, Sue Sanders, and lie detection. Let's just say that Tamlin Tomita is my jam. And if you are a fan of hers, then you know that she plays Mama Yakamura over on Teen Wolf, Mama to a Kitsune. So I was like, oh my god. Totally forgot about this fandom collision from forever ago. Yeah, but she had the ability to heal others through physical contact. And then the lady that Sylar kills is Sue Landers, and she has the ability of lie detection. So, yeah. And the Catalyst is a murky thing,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's a straight-up MacGuffin. Am I okay to say that?
Oh, no, you're perfectly within your rights to say that because it is the truth.
I still, for the life of me, it's still very, murky, and I don't really understand it.
That whole formula is murky.
Well, the formula I can understand, but at this point, it's basically magic that comes into Heroes.
Yes. Oh, God.
Okay. I wanted to make sure it wasn't just, me being, dim and, just not getting it, because the Catalyst is, one of the worst drop plot points ever.
Definitely.
So, yeah, let's just,
It's alright. We're just going to power through this. This won't take that long. So, yeah, let's...
Will there be waffles at the end, Ricky?
No. So let's leave Claire and Hiro's story to the end, because that takes up a major part of it. So I'd say let's start with Peter and his small little arc over this episode. Yeah.
Literally, Ricky, go to the bathroom and you miss it.
Well, we'll talk about Peter and how it relates to, like, Arthur. So, yeah, we'll talk about those two.
Yeah, let's
Peter's basically just on a mission. He's basically been given the same mission as Hiro in the first season. He's been given a task. He has to kill someone. And you're asking yourself, will he do it? Like, will he grow up and finally do this?
I just love how, like, okay, the Haitians are, like, in play. Angela, like, here's a gun. Let's go kill your father. He's too powerful. And Peter's like, yeah, he is kind of brainwashing Nathan, so he's got to go. That's basically what I got out of that.
And the unresolved tension between the Haitian and Peter in the cab.
In the car ride. It was like, hey, remember that time you tied me up in a shipping crate with my shirt off?
Yeah.
And I didn't have a memory? What was that about exactly? Hashtag rapey.
I kind of like that, you know, they keep on questioning whether or not he's going to do it, because at the end of the day, you don't really know if he'll do it. So he just ends up going to see his father. After Arthur's given the catalyst, he just goes to shoot him, and it stops, and we get Sylar, and basically, I don't know, would you say that Peter's the one who killed him, or Sylar? Because it is Peter who pulled the trigger, eventually. But yeah, what do you think?
Peter had all the intentions in the world. I guess this is kind of one of those circumstances where, like, you're an accessory to the crime. You're getting the same amount of time as the person that actually did. Because, I mean, Sylar's paused time, and had he said, yes, I was your father and it was the truth, he would have lived, I think. So I think ultimately it was Sylar.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. But then the Haitians bits are all, like, the Haitian bits, sorry, that sounds really weird. The Haitians' powers are really murky at this point, because sometimes, you know, you can just stop people's powers just by being, like, in their presence. Sometimes, I don't know whether it's a natural thing that it just happens, or if he has to, like, mentally flick a switch in his mind to switch off someone else's powers.
I think this was making the point that that's exactly what he needs to do, because he was also, like, straining.
Yeah.
And, like, I guess because Sylar snuck up on them, so to speak, that's why he, like, didn't sense it.
Probably. But then they do exactly the same thing with, like, Doyle in an upcoming episode. They kind of have made it kind of murkier as to how powers work now. But, yeah, that's all I have to really say about that Peter and Arthur thing, because, yeah, Peter's starting to grow on me as the seasons go on. Much like when I watched this the first time, I absolutely hated Nathan. I really like Nathan now, and now he's kind of going down. I don't know if he's going down, but, you know, I'm kind of... Peter's getting up there now. He's still dumb as bag of rocks, but still, he's kind of growing some balls, really, isn't he?
I really wish they would have... Like, I liked Peter without power.
Yeah.
Like, because at this point, Ando was the only, like, quote-unquote human next to HRG that didn't have powers. It was like, okay, you know, we need something new. And it's like, yeah, Peter doesn't have powers, but he still wants to be a hero. And maybe this is what turns him into the ruthless dude from the 5 years ago future. 5 years, future. You know what I mean? Because they even show you, like, how he almost has, like, that bloody scar across his face. You're like, is this what happens?
Yes.
Is this what turns him? And
I didn't even clock on that. I didn't even, like, think about that. But yeah, that's a really good point. And I think they do it as well with, like, Hiro. But yeah, it's that kind of, is it the powers that makes the hero? But it's not, because, like, obviously Peter's not had his powers for, like, the past couple of episodes, and he's always still tried to do the right thing, whether or not it's through, you know, him trying to prove himself, or it's something that he actually wants to do, is another matter entirely. But yeah. So
yeah, it's still a piece for Peter.
And I don't know about you, but, like, Arthur's death was quite anticlimactic, right? Because he was essentially the big bad of the season, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like Lindemann, the way that Lindemann just appeared out of nowhere. No, at least Lindemann had some kind of build-up. Like, Arthur just kind of appeared out of nowhere, and within a couple of episodes he was gone. And it kind of left you with, like, a bigger bad, quote-unquote, in the background who kind of steps up. But yeah, this death was just really anticlimactic. But then again, the character was anticlimactic as well, so deserving death, I guess.
Yeah, basically. Do you want to talk about Sylar next, or?
Yeah, there's only a couple of things I want to bring up about Sylar. His little Star Wars burial, and the fact that, you know, like, even though he killed Elle, he kind of doesn't give her the same...
He doesn't just leave her. He actually, like, gives her a Viking funeral pyre.
Yes, definitely. But then all of a sudden he's back to, like, season 1 kind of Sylar. apart from the L, he kind of has no guilt for like doing what he does, but also there's no well, there is actually, because they kind of have eliminated the hunger from this, and I kind of like the fact that he's now getting powers because it helps him. Like, he's not just like taking powers willy-nilly. He's taking this lie detection power because he needs it to kind of help him, and it's, you know, it's kind of building up a block of powers that are actually useful to him, not just like shattering from, like, you know,
or liquid melt.
Exactly.
Metal liquefying.
Yeah. Exactly. What did you think about that?
I was just like, you killed L. Up until that point, I was willing to go any and everywhere with Sylar. Then when he did that, and then to make matters worse, he takes her phone and he's looking through the list of contacts, and that's where he finds Sue Landers. I'm just like, oh man, this is brutal. Like, he just gives no fracks right now. And I don't know, like, he's always seemed way too overpowered to me. And so when they took his powers away and they were starting from scratch and then they were kind of exploring the hunger, it was good. But now it's just like, wait, what are we even doing now?
Yeah, now we're back to season 1. Let's just take whatever we want. But I don't know. At least there seems like there's kind of a purpose to him getting these powers now. That kind of carry on throughout the next couple of episodes. But yeah. But then, I don't know what it is. Like, you can either go, like, really dark with Sylar, or you can go campy. I don't think you can do both, because they did that in this episode. It just seemed really weird. Like, the whole, you know, he's started to kill Sue Landers and everyone comes in. He's just like, cake?
Oh my god, no. I go Sylar when he puts on a costume. It is messed up. Like, he just loses his damn mind. It's so, I don't know, like, they never, like, this is a point where, you know, people, I guess, were really loving Zachary Quinto as Sylar, and they were just trying to find that middle ground where the people who kind of hate Sylar can, you know, latch on to something. And I think human is a common denominator in a lot of cases.
I guess, yeah. But then there's that weird one in the elevator as well. So I have to call it an elevator because, you know.
It's a lift.
Yeah, exactly. Yay! Yeah, that bit with the guy in the lift was really out of place. Like, I don't know. It
was like, yeah, it does tingle. And I'm just like, Sylar, you're smart. That's the one saving grace that you have, and you're walking around bloody.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, he goes to Pinehurst, he confronts Arthur, and because he has this new power, he can tell that Arthur's lying when he says that he is his father. And then, like, Peter's like, looks at the gun, and Sylar's like, I'm not gonna hurt you, you don't have anything I want anymore. And I was like, oh snap!
Yes.
Burn! You ain't worth his time. You ain't worth the flick of a wrist, son. And then, like, Sylar just walks out, and I'm like, put the glasses on.
But I also think that, like, he didn't hurt Peter because of all they've kind of been through in this season. You know, they kind of thought they were brothers. There was even that bit where he kind of saved his life by throwing him out the window, like John locking him, but, like, you know, stopping him from...
Gingerly landing
Exactly,
him.
yeah. You know, so I think that's got something to do with it, but that's, like, the end of it, obviously. In my, like, at this point, that seems like it's the end of it for their kind of quote-unquote friendship. Like, you know, oh, I've saved you, I've helped you kill someone, that's it, we're all done, I've got bigger fish to fry.
Little did we know, right, Ricky?
Exactly. What else should we move on to? There, we can go on to... Well, it's not even really anything to do with Daphne, Matt, and Ando, can we?
Well, like, I literally summed it up in the important, in the major players and plot points. Like, literally, that's all you need to know is that they find the Ninth Wonders comic book.
Yes.
And what was even in it at this point? I don't even remember now.
The only page that they looked at was the front, which was the cover, and it was Hiro looking sad because he's...
Oh, yeah, it's on the little pole.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, they realise that Hiro's back in time, but yeah. So you might as well go straight on to Hiro and Claire. First things first.
Okay, the last episode, what happens is basically Hiro says, I know what I need to do, zaps to the Bennett/Butler home, teleports Elle and Sylar to the beach, grabs Claire, and boom, they're back in 1991, right as freaking Kato hands off baby Claire to HRG from the Company Man, the scene we saw in Company Man.
Just like any good Heroes plot, you have two really good people together, and you're just going to split them up. So, yeah, why not?
So true.
So Hiro goes off and watches basically watches himself, and Claire basically goes and watches herself. Well, I guess we can really talk about Claire first, because hers isn't. It doesn't seem like that. It's that much, in my opinion, anyway. She basically goes back to her first home, helps Sandra with herself.
Like paradox much?
Yes.
Really?
Exactly. And gives her a few encouraging words. Then HRG comes in, realizes she's not who she says she is. For some reason, she just says, don't answer the phone, because they're going to do something to the girl, yeah.
She gives herself her own nickname. Like, who does that besides the Flash?
Like, is this a story for her to, like, be able to forgive her father again? Because obviously, you know, they're angry at each other again. I think if I vaguely remember at the end of the last episode, they were angry at each other, and there's this, like, another way of, let's forgive each other again, and is this just her way of kind of seeing it from his point of view, or, like, it seems like a kind of pointless storyline having her here. Like, you could have just had Hiro there and completely got rid of Claire, but what do you think?
I kind of liked it, but man, that whole, like, makeup that they put on Ashley Crow, aka Mama Bennett,
Oh, yeah.
damn loop, and I'm like, scary. I don't know. I actually liked it. I liked learning that they actually lived in New York initially for some reason, because all roads lead back to New York or New Jersey sometimes. So I don't know. I found that it was really interesting. I thought that Claire was actually smart, and she really just was very HRG at that point, where she's just pulling the wool over Sandra's eyes, and she's good at it.
Yeah,
I did like it. I don't really know the point of it besides to this whole Catalyst mess.
Yeah. And talking about Catalyst mess, let's just go straight on to Hiro. He basically sees a conversation between his father and his mother about what to do with the Catalyst, and Kato wants to put it into Claire, whereas Ishii wants it to go into Hiro, like to stay in the family. And Kato mistakes old Hiro
for the cook.
Yeah, for the cook, and Hiro makes his mother waffles, and then they have a moment.
Like Lego, Eggo waffles.
Yeah.
Not even like with the waffle maker, like just straight up put it in the toaster, put it on the plate. I'm like, you're fired if you were my cook.
And then he has a conversation with his mother, regains his powers. No, he doesn't. He regains his memories, gets the catalyst, and yeah.
And then, do you want to talk about it now? Or
might as well. Yeah, might as well.
Okay, so just as he shows up to meet Claire on the Devereaux rooftop, Arthur Petrelli shows up out of nowhere, like total BS, takes both the catalyst and Hiro's ability from him, and then throws him off the rooftop. Then he sees Claire and he goes, I'm not going to kill you because you're a pretty blonde. You can send a message to your grandmother. Like, Claire's family's so messed up, man. Her bio family's messed up. Her adopted family's messed up. That poor girl.
I believe that there was like a deleted scene with Arthur in this, where basically he goes to Molly in India and he takes her powers. That's how he was able to find them in the past. I think I read that somewhere. And basically when they watched it back, they just realised how really creepy it looked, like this older gentleman stalking this younger girl.
The one time they realized something was hashtag rapey, really?
And it's, yeah. So yeah, that's basically how he was able to...
How did he get to the past?
Yeah, he had some...
He had to have.
He has to have some time travel powers. He must have when he was taking away...
Peter's powers.
Yes, Peter's powers. I was gonna say like when he was taking away Hiro's power, like Hiro's memory, it must have got a little bit and not all of it, but yeah, Peter's powers makes more sense.
Ugh.
So anyway, let's talk about Hiro. I don't know about you, but I kind of think that this him having his memory wiped, being 10 years old, it's kind of worth it for like this moment with his mom, because you get the 10-year-old boy who's getting a chance to say goodbye to his mother, and the older man saying goodbye to his mother. What do you think about it?
I'm not gonna lie, I just one tear every single time. Such a good scene.
Yeah.
Like, because they play Masi for such the joke all the time, they don't really give him up. Even with Charlie, when he was supposed to be in love, like, I just stand by, but this scene was so well written, and, you know, it's very rarely where you, like, I can actually relate to the human emotions that are actually on screen in Heroes, and This was just so well written and so well done that I was just like, yeah, this was worth it. This was worth, well, not the whole season, but this was worth it. But it was worth, you know, for the past.
And I think, you know, I like the fact that Kato still kind of doesn't believe in Hiro, because obviously, you know, they wouldn't fix that for like another however many years. It's kind of nice that, you know, at the beginning of this season, you've got Kato, who kind of entrusted the formula to Hiro, and here you've got kind of his mother entrusting him with the catalyst, and he's basically had these 2 side missions which he's failed
They
at.
ended up disastrous.
Yes, disastrous, but we'll talk about the rest of that in the next episode. But yeah.
But yeah, that particular scene is beautiful, but what literally happens afterwards pretty much negates it.
Yes.
It's definitely. Well, Kato was right. I don't know what the hell you were thinking, is she? In the laboratory, after they ran that little test, Scott breaks free of his bonds with enhanced strength and manages to regain control of himself. Nathan asks how it feels. He stands up and yanks the chair off the floor and throws it through the glass. And then he says, "Feels good." And we're like, "Oh, snap. Synthetic abilities are in play."
Yes.
Yeah. There we go. Okay. Now we can move to the review. Who was your best character?
I'm going to go with, best character and best character interaction. I'm going to have to double up on here, but I'm going to give it to Hiro and obviously the character interaction with his mother. I just think it's kind of made all the Hiro shenanigans from previous just kind of melt away, and all you've got is this scene, and all you've got is not even just young Hiro, but old Hiro kind of getting a chance to say goodbye to his mother, giving his mother that kind of nice send off is all I can kind of say, because she gets to know what her son gets up to and later on in life. And, I think it's a really nice scene. But, yeah, how about you?
Best character, hands down, is Ishii Nakamura. Just so unexpected. Never thought that at that point we were going to meet his mom. She's just going to be a woman in a refrigerator. Yeah. Dead before, pre-series and all that stuff. But she was just she gave him his memories back. She got to see the man that he was, and he got to say goodbye. But, I don't know. I just really liked her character. And then when she comes back in season 4, it's just okay, that was a little redundant, but it was so sweet. Ishii for the win, always.
So I'm going to take it you're doing the same for character interaction as well.
No.
Oh.
Kato and Ishii then, where he's talking trash on Hiro, and she's like, no, he's all he does is play his Game Boy. And I was just but he's supposed to be a tiger mom. What? Why is Hiro such a slacker? I don't understand. It reminds me of later in season 4 where Ando says to Hiro, he's like, "I could be warm mommy and you could be cold daddy." And I'm like, oh my god, that's so funny. So yeah, that is it then. Kato and Ishii.
Cool.
Best scene?
I don't even know. You go first.
When Sylar takes Sue Landers' powers and her coworkers bust in, he says cake. I don't know. I love that scene. It's hilarious. Because I go, same. I too would kill for cake.
I'm probably going to go with Ishii healing Hiro, and then that kind of difference in the young Hiro and the old Hiro. Kind of just that little moment. I think it's well played out, and it's given Massey a bit of time, a bit of chance to get his acting chops into something for once. So yeah. Tell us your favourite moment.
I absolutely love how he's in the kitchen trying to cook up something fancy, and at the end of the day, he just serves her frozen waffles. And she's so sweet about it. Here is this woman sick and dying, probably just wants her favorite meal because it's not too long before she's going to kick the bucket, and this just incompetent cook comes in with freaking frozen waffles, and she's so sweet to him. She's a better woman than me, let me tell you.
Cool. Do you have... Because I don't. Because I'm looking over these lines right now, and I don't like any of them. So how about you? Do you have any favourite lines?
I love, like I said, when the Marine, at the end of the episode, when the Marine throws the thing through the window, and Nathan's like, how does it feel? He's like, feels good. And I was just like, oh my god. But no. So the kid that plays the Marine in this one was also in one of my favorite shows, the 4400, who that also had synthetic ability side plot, and he was at the core of it. So I always found that kind of chuckle worthy.
Yeah, fair enough.
So yeah.
What about
no lines?
No lines at all. I'm looking at them all now, and I don't like any of them at all. So yeah. Okay. How about grade? What are you gonna give for the grade?
Ooh, I'm gonna go a B-. B as in boy.
Ooh. I was initially gonna go for a B- just for the Hiro kind of stuff alone, but I'm gonna have to bring it down to a C+ because of some of the other, I think for once they kind of got the pacing right of it. They're concentrating on one kind of story, which they really need to, because, you know, they obviously have to get the catalyst there and out the way, because they got one episode left in this volume after this. But I just think that you could have done without some of this stuff. Like, I think campy Sylar was a bit too much, especially after he's just kind of, you know, reverted back to season 1 Sylar. It's even more of a switch than, you know, him being in love with Elle and then killing her the next moment. Yeah, I had to bring it down. How about, why did you give it a B minus?
I thought that the pacing was really well. I loved the Hiro and Claire meetup. Like, and of course he couldn't speak English at that particular moment.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it was like one of those, like, this is how you use a flashback. Thank you.
Yes.
But like the part of the fun of the flashback was that we actually get to interact within that flashback, not just be a passive passenger.
Yeah.
And I like campy Sylar. I mean,
Fair enough.
because I don't like regular Sylar. And I think that Sylar is very wishy-washy. He's whatever the writers need him to be. And unfortunately, that's a disservice to both the character and the actor. But, you know, hey, you got to get those ratings somehow, right?
Yeah. The only bits of trivia I've got are, you know, there's a couple of bloopers in it where, you know, you kind of see a cameraman reflected in a formula, or, you know, they say that there's 50 Marines, but there's actually 52 standing to attention. Just little things like that. And, you know, little continuity things like in Company Man, there's more than just Kato and Noah.
You can't get Eric Roberts and freaking number 9 on short notice.
Exactly. And the only other thing that they kind of say is that the scene where Sylar burns Elle's body was originally written a little differently, but they didn't do it because of kind of network standards and practices, thinking it was a little bit too disturbing. And it was just basically like a kind of crane shot over Sylar looking over Elle's burning body. But, you know. Yeah,
we weren't ready for that at the 8 o'clock slot.
So,
okay.
Yes.
The graphic novel.
Okay, so this one is called Truths, and it kind of reminds me of that Gale and Bianca one from the beginning of the season. I can't remember what it was called, but it's basically just as Arthur's about to die, he kind of is looking back on his life, whereas in the other one they kind of look forward to what could have been. But this is basically just Arthur looking back at his life, and you kind of see him always being kind of disappointed in Peter, like they go hunting, and that's what they name Pinehurst after. They name it after the lodge or something like that. And you've got Peter like having the chance to take a shot at a deer or something, and Peter's obviously crying because he doesn't want to do it, and Arthur's just looking down on him in distaste. And at the end of this graphic novel, you kind of see that he believes that both of his sons are kind of strong with him dying, and he kind of revels in that fact because, you know, he finally has 2 strong sons.
This was written by Zach Crayley, drawn by Peter Steigerwald, and the Easter egg was a behind-the-scenes photo of Masaoka and Robert Forster. You know this. Yes. You know it.
So, we do not have any listener feedback, but I would like to thank everyone who joined us on the live tweets. They were either tweeting, retweeting, or faving during the live tweets. We have Swag Juiced, Cinzia667, Wood Marley, Paraceline, Red Rose Piano, Mike Schmidt 09, Soft_Guitar 60, and English Idiot 101.
Familiar names and new names. It's my favorite. Looks like it's time for some shameless plugs and self-promotion. We'll start with the show contact info. We here at Primatech Files love listener feedback. If you would like to get a hold of us, we have a ton of ways. You can email us via primatechfiles@gmail.com. You can leave us a private message or interact with our posts over on facebook.com/Primatech Files. We live tweet 2 episodes per week every Saturday starting at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. For more information, be sure to follow us on Twitter @Primatech Files. You can also find us on Clamor, Tumblr, and YouTube by simply searching for Primatech Files. If you enjoy this podcast, be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to us on iTunes. What's that? You don't have an iTunes account? That's okay. We're on a lot of podcatcher services such as Stitcher and SoundCloud. All you have to do is search for, you guessed it, Primatech Files. We're also on Libsyn, and if you want to follow our RSS feed there, all you have to do is go to primatechfiles.libsyn.com and bookmark the site to stay up to date with this podcast. Libsyn is spelled Libsyn, just in case you were wondering. We look forward to interacting with you.
If you love our podcast, be sure to check out Southgate Media Group's iTunes provider page to see a list of what other podcasts are hot and trending in our network. Or you can take that one step further and visit southgatemediagroup.com, where you can find a full list of our 80-plus podcasts, along with weekly blogs and information about all the hosts. With so many podcasts that cover everything from anime to wrestling, there's sure to be tons of podcasts that could interest you.
Hey guys, you should know by now that you can find me on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire. If you have a Tumblr, be sure to check out it's lilithhellfire.tumblr.com. And of course, be sure to swing by my blog if you are a pop culture junkie or comic book geek at littlepopculturevulture.blogspot.com. I also host several other podcasts on the Southgate Media Group network. Some of them are The Flashpoint, Queen Consolidated, and Channel 52. So if you are into, obviously, DC comic book related stuff, be sure to check it out.
You can find my writings at tvbinges.com. It's a place for all your binge watching needs, and you can also create your own TV binge and we'll help promote it. We do a monthly binge watch, which you're more than welcome to join in. Just go to their Twitter at tvbinges just to find out more information. You can find me on Twitter at RickyJDiaz. That's RickyJDiaz, or Z if you're American.
Well, that's just about all we have for you guys here on this edition of Primatech Files. We hope you've enjoyed our discussion of episode 312, Our Father. A little bit longer. There was some stuff to discuss. We stretched it out for you guys this time around. But, we're wrapping up this volume, and I personally like the next volume a lot better than this one. So look forward to some more in-depth, engrossing conversation. Remember to send us some emails. If you have a chance, join us in the weekly live tweets. Happens every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes we do Sundays as well at the same time. Check the Twitter for more information. Ricky, you know what to do.
Download the podcast, save the world.